All right, good morning, everybody. It is just about 9:15 on September 3rd, a Thursday. I want to start off this morning by thanking everybody who has filled out the survey we sent out in emails last night. And if you have not filled that out, we would appreciate it. It helps us better work towards improvements on the websites and better suit your needs. So we appreciate that. I also want to thank Peggy and Denise and everybody who has checked out the Facebook page. We would appreciate any feedback on there so we can utilize it to show other new members what we're all about. So let's get started here looking at SPY in this morning. We are up, but not as much as we were. We see this spike on the 5-minute candle, which was the release of the jobs numbers, which were positively received, got all the way up to 197.50 and beyond, and then pulled back and gave back pretty much all of those gains. So we could see a little bit of bullish support on this 20-period moving average support for these two candles, and then broke below it, and now trying to maintain the 100-period moving average support. So that's the key level to watch this morning, 196.15. Currently trying to stay above it, and we will see how we fare with that over the next 15 minutes. So some other plays I want to point out. We have Loco, which just actually had some pre-market activity, which it doesn't usually have much, and it erased pretty much all of the bids. So the bid now is $12, which is really low. It's not going to open that low, but it looked like it was going to be opening higher. We're going to be watching Loco for a $13 break and to maintain the 10-day moving average support as our swing play. Sunni is our other swing play that's back above $11 pre-market. We've seen this pattern a couple times now. It gets above 11 pre-market, then by the time the market opens, it's back down below 11, gets back above it in the morning, and is unable to hold that as support into the end of the day. So I'm going to be looking for Sunni to be above $11 after 2 p.m. To really show that we could see a close above that level and a move towards $12, because it's been a really stubborn resistance line the past 4 days for Sunni. We'll see when we can clear that. Another swing play, we want to point out again that DWTI, we are taking that off our swing play list. We had a really sweet move of about $35. It fell short of our target by about $3, but still a sweet move, and anybody in that should have had their stop losses triggered to have gotten out. So we will be looking for a new swing play today and tomorrow. We have the plays of Twitter and GoPro that we're watching this morning. They're looking a little bit different this pre-market. We got GoPro is down. This is the downtrend it is in, with lower highs and lower lows, and currently fighting to maintain the 200-period moving average support of 40.85. We might be waiting on GoPro here to come down and test perhaps $40 to make a higher low. The low yesterday was 39.04, so we're going to be watching for a higher low and a higher high, and that could be a nice play for GoPro. We'll have to keep our eye on it. I believe someone said there was a downgrade today. Maybe that's why we're seeing a little bit of resistance here, but looking for $41 to hold. If 41 does not hold into the open, we will be looking for a higher low over 39.04. For Twitter's looking good here. We have a board meeting today. Normally, we don't look at fundamentals. We look at just the charts, but it's always good to know when there is an event on the horizon that could cause some extra volatility, and that is certainly one of them. So opening right now about 35 cents higher, which is a nice sign of strength here for Twitter. You can see we set a higher high just now on volume, and we are looking good to come up and test $29 today, in my opinion, for Twitter. American Airlines is continuing the beast move. That was our pick on one of the watch lists yesterday, and over the day I explained that a close over 41, I was still bullish for continuation into today. We had a much stronger close than just 41.51, and we are now testing $42. So American Airlines benefiting from oil pulling back and just having the chart set up for a nice move. We're seeing sweet continuation there. Let's look at Netflix. Netflix was a wild bouncer yesterday. Let's see if I can type the right ticker. So yesterday we saw that crazy spike at the end of the day. Let me pull up the 2-day chart just so we can see that. Here it was out of nowhere. It just exploded above resistance. You can see where the explosion took place. It's always a good idea to go back and check history of stocks just to see how the moves were made and what to expect in the future. We had the lower highs forming and the higher lows. This is the rubber band effect, and we saw a break of the high here of 103.48 on this candle, and that's when it exploded. So Worth noting, a break of the pattern saw a very strong rubber band effect, as I like to call it. We are back down again pre-market here, fell through the strong support of 100 and 200 period moving averages, and now trying to find a bottom down here at 102.50. So we'll see if it's able to turn that around, turn the 120 period moving average resistance of 103.73 back into support, and work on trying to get above 105 to turn these two levels into support as well. Let us now look at AMBA. That was a popular one yesterday with earnings, a big gap down, recovered very well into the end of the day, hit this 200 period moving average resistance and was unable to get above it. Pre-market it did temporarily, but back down below it, and that's going to be a strong resistance. It's steadily sloping down as it's factoring in the big gap downs we've had. So 80.56 is the key level to turn into support for AMBA this morning. We have support coming up at 79.80 of the 100 period moving average, and that's going to be a key one to watch, the pinch between the 100 support and the 200 resistance. Let's check out Tesla here. So Tesla's looking really good. Wow, up a lot pre-market. Very strong close and very, very strong continuation here today. So we had a close of just under 248, and we're all the way up now at 251. We hit a high pre-market of 255. So Tesla is looking really good, coming down, trying to hold this 100 period moving average support. That is 251.13. I'm pulling up the daily chart right now to see how we're going to look with this higher open. If we open at 251, that will put us above the 100-day moving average resistance, which is 248.06. We have the 50-day moving average resistance of 256.37. So it's looking like we pulled back just a little bit below that level this morning. A close over 256.37 is going to be a great sign for a potential move to 270. Chart's looking really good for Tesla. A nice strong day yesterday. Hardly any pullback seen from this initial bounce, and Tesla is looking strong. Tesla and PCLN are two that I have been watching that have not shown the same weakness that many in the market have after this bounce and pullback here. So this is PCLN up at 1252 right now. The middle Bollinger Band is 1266. The high close on the bounce was 1259. So a close over 12. Well, I guess the target today would be the middle Bollinger Band. That's a pretty significant move to get up there, but that would make PCLN look very strong. 260 should be some resistance as well. So 1260 and 1266 are going to be the targets to get above. And after that, we can make our way back to 1300. So we'll see if the bulls are able to muster that strength up. Looking at Apple here. Apple also had a nice pre-market, is pulling back now, lost the 100 period moving average support, and is going to come down and potentially test this 200 period moving average support of 111.56. The resistance level is 112.68 to get back above. That's the 20 period resistance and the 100 period resistance as well. So Apple, looking at the daily chart to see what kind of resistances we can expect there from moving averages. We have the middle Bollinger Band at 112.64, so that is going to be the first level to get over. If we get a close above 113.29, that was the high close on the bounce, and would be a great sign because it would be a higher close and it would be above the middle Bollinger Band, and that would signal a move to 117.50 is likely coming. So that is my rundown for the morning. If you guys now, we got 7 minutes before the open, want to shout out some tickers that you are watching. We can look at them. Twitter is still looking really strong here. 28.15 is the bid, and GoPro is down below 41. So we're going to be watching GoPro at 40 for potential entry. American Airlines is trying to break that 42 level. SUNY is still above $11, looking like we might open above $11, which would be a nice sign. We'll just see if we can hold it or not. That's been a toughie. Oil this morning is bouncing around. Pretty defined channel. I'll pull it up for you real quick. If you're trading UWTI or DWTI, you should have this chart up and be watching it. This is the hourly chart. You can see a pretty defined range after the very significant pullback from the very significant bounce. And after a little bit of volatility yesterday afternoon, we have been consolidating here today. So you could draw your trend lines right here and wait for breaks above them, and that would be a good indicator to go off of whether you want to play DWTI or UWTI. I would expect some more volatility to increase in oil when we do see a break of one of these levels, as we have a nice defined channel right now, but I don't think that's going to hold for very long. Nice job, Adam. That's the first step to success there, getting on the same page of me as charts. There's some videos in the members section that show you how to set up. I believe it's advanced chart setup that shows you how I set up my stockcharts.com account. So let us look at Win for Zen here. Win is also up pre-market 809, a very strong day yesterday. Let's look at the daily chart here. Oh, I've still got you guys on that, so I'll let you look at it with me. Extended above the upper Bollinger Band, so that has me a little concerned, just in the sense that it's overbought. Very beastly move the month of August. I do not play stocks bullish if they are above the upper Bollinger Band and the RSI is above 70. That's too overbought for me, and the risk reward is favored in the risk department because it is likely a pullback is coming. Let's see, we're above resistance here on the 3-month chart of the daily. So let's look at the weekly chart as to when we are going to see some resistance. 809 is what we're trading at. And yeah, there's a lot of room to go here. So it was definitely very oversold. All the moving average resistances are up at the $11 mark. We're going to see $10 psychological resistance. But a close above $8 on the week would be a good sign on the weekly chart. But again, the daily chart has some consolidation in its future. Not saying it'll be today, but it is going to be in the near future. Let me get back to Fidelity. Baba, let's see what we got. Let's see if Baba is over the all-important 66 level. Currently trying to fight it. Including yesterday's action, we have set a higher high pre-market, getting up to 66.20. We want to see a close, if you are bullish Baba, above 66 to start to turn that level into support. That is definitely the resistance level right now after 66. 68 shouldn't be too hard to attain. We got 3 minutes left here into the open, and you can see Sunni is pulling back and might open below $11 again, as is the pattern. GoPro's creeping down and Twitter is creeping up, so keep your eye on those two. Baba, the resistance is the 20-period moving average of 65.99. We can just call that 66. Support down at 65.71, 65.55. So needs to get over 66 on the day, Baba. 3 minutes here into the open. Let's see, what do I want to look at? Let's see what AA is looking like this morning. A lot higher, continuing the very bullish trend from mid-morning throughout the day yesterday. So trading at 944. Let me peek at the daily chart. Nice uptrend, nice long lower wick on the chart yesterday to maintain the middle Bollinger Band of support of 918. We had a high on this bounce of 953. So looking to test that level this morning. Resistance I am seeing besides 953 is up at the 50-day moving average of 996, and that will be a key level to watch just under the psychological $10 resistance. I'm also having my eye on the 3D printing plays, DDD and SSYS, or maybe it's SYSS. Nope, SSYS. Want to find a bottom there. They have been extremely oversold after the 3D printing bubble popped, and they are trying to form support here. We got SSYS found a bottom on the market sell-off at $26, currently trading above the 200 period on the 5 minute, so that's a key level of support to hold, 29.41. Hit a high of 31 on the bounce, consolidated, found support at 28, and is now working back up towards 31. So 30 is going to be some resistance, and then 31. Not time to initiate any kind of swing trade on these plays yet. I'm just watching them for bottom because there's going to be a nice turnaround and a nice run up longer term. These 3D printing plays will be a nice longer term swing trade for our members when they show themselves. So there's the open. Caught me a little bit by surprise there. Let's see where SPY opened here. SUNY is right at $11. We'll see if it can hold it. Twitter is trying to keep 28 support that it pulled back from. So we're going to wait for markets to cool off a little bit here and see where we settle. AMBA's down 2.5%. GoPro making its way to 40. We would like to see 40 hold as support. So SPY was able to open up, only up 0.35%. Gave back a lot of its gains on that initial spike of the jobs report. Trying to hold this 100 period moving average support of 196.17. If it is unable to do that, it's going to come down to 195.06. There's not much moving average support in between that. So we are going to be watching close these next couple candles to see how it reacts to this support level. We also have the 60-minute chart having support of the 100 day at 195.82. 100 period, excuse me, not 100 day. 195.74 is the 200 period on the 30-minute chart. So there is actually a lot of support in the upper 195 range. So we'll see if the bulls can pull it out here. So far looking like it can, but we know the first 15-20 minutes are very volatile. Netflix down, hit 102 as a low. You can see SUNY bounced off 1101, so 11 is currently support for today. And we're going to wait to see if Twitter can get above 28. We had a high a day recently for Twitter at 28.12, so that's the first level of resistance we're looking at. GoPro got down to 40.59 before starting to go bullish again. It's at its high a day. If we see a 41 break there, it's a bullish sign. American Airlines not seeing as much strength as we saw pre-market. I'm checking out Rad, Jenna. Looking at the daily chart. Looking at the daily chart first. There's SUNY making a very big, strong bull move. 1150 we're running here on SUNY. We just broke resistance from the high of day yesterday. That came out of nowhere. I took my eyes off the screen for a second. Look at this candlestick. So we are making our way to $12.15. That is the target for SUNY and exploding right now. Huge volume coming in. So came back, tested $11, held as support, and then exploded 60 cents in under 2 minutes. So pulling back now. RSI is slowly approaching overbought. You don't want to chase this stock. Looking good if anybody was already in it. Wait for a comeback and a test of support. We have the 20 period moving average at 1122. This volume is very encouraging. Let's see, we got 2.5 million volume on the day so far. Looking at the daily chart to compare what the volume was yesterday. Back up to 1157. You can see the bid and the ask just flying around here because of how much volume is pouring in. So let's see, yesterday's total volume was 31 million, and we're going to have 10% of that in the first 5 minutes of trading. So here's a new high a day. Again, you don't want to be chasing this stock. Sure, you might miss some gains up to $12 if it does keep exploding, but risk to reward for entry right now favors risk. If you are already in, congratulations. This has been a swing play for at least 4 or 5 days now. We initiated it with the first close over $10 for a target of $12.15, $12.17 I believe to be exact, but looking really strong here. Going to watch for a back test of 11.23, but that may be a little ways away as we keep seeing this bullish volume pour in here. Again, RSI is now 72 on the 5-minute chart, and with this volatile bid and ask flashing around, just lost 10 cents in 2 seconds there. So not the entry you want to be making here on SUNY. So Twitter moving back up to 28. GoPro close to breaking 41. That's going to be a very bullish sign. It might have just broke it while I was watching SUNY. 41.05 is the high of the day. So SUNY keeps setting highs here. We're waiting for a pullback. SUNY actually might be a nice short here if we keep going up to $12 before any consolidation. Sorry, Jen, I'll get to Rad in a second, but this explosion in Sunni caught my eye, obviously. Strong bid at 1170. We'll see if that gets eaten up soon, which I expect it will. SPY is looking bullish this morning. Let's check back in on SPY and see that it held the 100 period moving average support and is now working on 20 period moving average resistance of 196.45. Looking for continuation to head on back to 197.60, which was the high pre-market. So Sunni is still going here. Keep setting new highs. Again, some money, missed out if you're watching this run, but can't advise entering the stock after a 10% move in the first 5 minutes of the trading day. RSI is now up at 74. Again, short opportunity potential here if we see a touch of $12. There you go, Zen. That's how you be quick and limber. Again, not for the faint of heart. Stop loss is very key. In and out very quick on a move like this. If you're swing trading, it's all going according to plan. You're just sitting back and watching your gains. Twitter break of 28 and a new high of day, so a good sign there. GoPro broke 41 with ease and grabbed a quick 40 cents. So that is another bullish play as well. Looking like this morning was a little pause in the bullish activity to allow entry, pointing both of those two out and looking really good here. A lot of action this morning. Here comes Sunni up to 11.88. We are watching for $12. If it breaks 12 and goes to 12.15, it's going to be a great short opportunity this morning. So Twitter, the high on the bounce from the market pullback is 28.49. We'll see if we can break that. GoPro up to 41.50, looking great for continuation that we thought we would see. So far set a higher low of 40.59 and is working to fill the gap to 42.09. So here goes Sunni to $12. Volume is just incredible here, 5 million in the first 7 minutes. I already forget the number I pointed out for yesterday, so I'm going back to check that. 31 million, so looking very strong on the volume front. If you're wanting to play Sunni short, again, you're obviously playing against momentum and bullish volume, so have a tight stop, but be stalking your trade here right now. Netflix is testing 102, a low of the day of 101.23, might test $100 there. Twitter, nice continuation, looking great, up to $29. Watching Sunni close here for potential short on a pullback. Support is all the way down at 11.55, 11.43, 11.27. So I'm just going to stick with Sunni. Obviously, it's the quick mover for this morning. There's $12. There's 12.07, so it's just exploding here. We got 12.17, 200 week moving average resistance. We're going to be looking for weakness there. Target for our swing is almost acquired, and we will adjust it at the end of trading today, potentially to move up the target if we see the strength we like. We'll have to see how the candlestick shapes, but this is just a very, very, very bullish showing, obviously. Currently up 12% in the first 8 minutes of the trading day, so we know that a pullback is coming. We got the RSI now approaching 80. 12.14 is the high. We're looking for 12.17, and then we will watch very closely for signs of weakness. Sunni is going to be a nice quick short flip here. Here's 12.17. We hit the target. That is our target for the swing, and that is a good level to potentially looking short at. We'll see what kind of strength we've got up here. Don't want to rush into it as we are still looking strong, seeing an increase in 5-minute volume. There's a break at $12, so seeing that weakness now. We'll see if it can get back over $12 again and allow for a nice entry into shorts. Not going to happen. Pullback looks to be starting here. Target of 11.60. One more attempt here maybe to get over 12. There it is. So we'll see if we test 12.17 and pull back again. That would show a lot of weakness. Watching volume on the 5-minute here, we have a slight increase from the first two candlesticks, and now we're working on the third candlesticks of the day. 7 million volume. Trying to maintain 12 support. Just back under it again. So definitely seeing things slowing down here, as you can see from the incredible start this morning. Another attempt to get back over 12. Every time it has to get back over $12, it's weakening. So there's another one. Back over 12. Coming back up to potentially test 12.17 again. We are watching the volume. Back below 12. Quick drop on that one. 10-cent drop in a few seconds. You could potentially be working on getting a short position up in the $12 range and setting your stop at 12.18. SPY is continuing to look great, setting high of days. Definitely a bullish start to today. GoPro is up at its high of day. Twitter hit a high of 28.60. We're looking for 29 there. Back over $12 and back under $12 for Sunni. I feel like I'm announcing a horse race here. Whoa, 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 Shay. Sweet day. Was that a position from earlier, a few days ago? Was that a swing position? Beautiful. Did you grab that this morning, or was that from a couple days ago? Back over 12. Seeing another little volume spike here, so we're cautious as it's heading over 12.17 again. Hoping to not break that high of day if you are short. Awesome, Shay. Congratulations. Very glad to hear that. Hope you don't mind us taking a screenshot of that so we can use it for a testimonial. So unable to break that high of day here, seeing weakness as we slow down a little bit. Want to see a break of 1193 would be a bearish development. But again, every time it gets knocked down beneath $12, it's weakening. Back over 12 again, let's see. There is a lot of strength here to eat those big $12 asks. Back under again. So again, if I were playing short here, I would grab a position when it's in the $12, over $12, and I would set my stop loss at a new high of day. Let's watch for an 1193 break here, which will be bearish. There it is. So expecting now to come down the absolute highest support here. Look at how quick that drop was. Boom. Awesome. Bounced off the 4-period exponential moving average support, the low of 1170 here. I'm expecting potentially some more pullback. We'll see if we get rejected from $12 again. So now 1190 seems to be a little bit of resistance, just like $12 just was. We might flirt back and forth over this level for a little bit. Expecting to come down to 1150 on this pullback here. RSI is just coming off the overbought level. GoPro made it all the way up to 41.74. Nice bullish. Loco is slowly trying to stay green here. Netflix pulling back, going to test its low of the day. Back up to a $12 potential test. Whoa, huge bid here. Watch 1196. If that gets erased, 1197. So they're walking it up right now. As you can see, those huge bids walking it up over $12. Let's see if that gets erased. A drop down to 1195 will mean that those big bids just got erased. Watching closely here, a lot of volatility and a lot of opportunity here. So those big bids appear to have just gotten erased. There's another one at 1196, 1198. They're walking it up again, looking like someone's loading. 1202, another big bid, and then pulling back again. So those bids just got filled and not seeing the strength needed to get over 1217 at the moment. This big long lower wick shows still a bullish buying of the dip, but not seeing the strength needed to get over 12. So there's a big ask. Watch this, 1201. If that gets erased and we get up to 1202, that'll be a good sign for the bulls. But again, still seeing slowing weakness here up around the $12 range. 1217, perfect bounce off resistance of the 200-week moving average. There are people out there that say technical analysis does not work, and I just want to shake those people and yell, what are you thinking? But I don't do that because I'm a nice guy. So 1217 starting to make our way back over $12 a little bit here. We'll see if we can maintain that as support. Huge volume, 31 million total yesterday and at 9 million this morning. So someone broke the levee with the bullish volume here today. SPY still continuing up, setting high of days, looking good on a bullish day, seeing the follow through we expected after yesterday's strong close. So 1207, a big ask. We'll see if that gets erased. That would show strength. So we got strength here. We're coming back up to test the high of the day. Get your stop losses in if you are short. $212, decent size ask just got erased. Here comes the high of the day test. Just broke it temporarily and then a quick pullback, so not a very strong break, but definitely worth noting that the bulls were able to get it back above that level. Watching close here, watching volume. 4 minutes left on this candlestick. A break back below $12 support will be a sign for the bears, obviously. AA with huge follow through today. Looking great. Glad I covered that one quickly pre-market. Here's $12 support again and failing for Sunni, so that's more weakness. We did see a new high of day by 2 cents, but not very strong at all. Resistance on AA. Let me pull that quickly up on the daily chart as we see this pull back from Sunni. 992 is the 50-day moving average resistance on AA. Checking in with SPY here real quickly, pulling back from the high of the day, but a very strong bullish morning. Support is 196.49. Back flirting with this $12 mark here. This is a bearish reversal candlestick on the 5-minute chart. 2 minutes left to go for it to form, but that's an inverted hammer at the top of an uptrend. Seeing some significant pullback now. A break of 1170 will be extra bearish on the short term. Obviously, it's a bullish day. So GoPro seeing some volatility as well. Let me pull up GoPro to see what we're looking at. Support for GoPro is 4110, then 4104, and then 4085. So some decent support there. Definitely a bearish reversal candlestick being confirmed. Not seeing huge volume to warrant this kind of dump, so could be a nice entry for GoPro down at $41 or 4085 support. Looking at Twitter really quick. Nice follow through coming up to test the high of the day. RSI is approaching overbought. We'll see if we can set a new high of day here. So Sunni's still hanging in there. Very strong day. Netflix dropped down to 180. The low of the day yesterday, if I remember correctly, was 130. Here's Twitter testing the high of the day. Tesla, a nice day as well. Here's Twitter testing the high of the day, looking for a break. And there it is, continuing onward to $29 target. Okay, TQQQ, let's catch up on these. I still want to keep my eye on SUNY. The $12 mark is important. Resistance for TQQQ is 94.88 and support is 93.47. Pulling up the daily chart here. Looking good on the bounce. We had a high on the bounce of 99.60, so that is the resistance level I am looking at. MACD is somewhat close to a bullish cross and a nice close above 10-day moving average resistance yesterday, so looking fairly bullish for TQQQ. Netflix, bearish on the day. Just an ugly downtrend. This line is carrying over from something I drew yesterday. So it's actually looking like it's fitting pretty well. The first two candles today bounced off it bullish, and these two candlesticks now are getting rejected from it. 20-period moving average resistance is going to be the key to get above for any kind of bullish reversal. 102.90 is that level as we are dropping down. Let me look at the daily chart for what we are looking at for support on Netflix. The low of the day yesterday, as I pointed out, is 130. After that, we've got the 100-day moving average support of 97.80. So if we see a break of 130, there's some more downside for Netflix. Twitter keeps approaching or keeps breaking new high days, looking great. Let me answer your question here. Deep. Yeah, oversold on a 5-minute, never a bad time to take profit. When you are overbought, I said oversold, I meant overbought. When you are overbought on the 5-minute chart, 4 green candlesticks here, very strong bullish showing. No shame in taking profit up here. INTC, also a very strong day. RSI is getting up close to overbought. I want to point out again that I don't ever enter a position on a stock if the RSI is overbought on the 5-minute chart. I don't ever enter bullish, that is. So here's SUNY losing $12 support and certainly weakening. The high on the bounce for INTC was 29.13, very close to that level right now. The key level to close above is the 50-day moving average resistance of 28.84. Close above that level is a bullish sign. Looking pretty good compared to other stocks here. Resistance of 29.50 is after the high on this bounce, which was 29.13. Oh man. Hold on one second, I'm just conveying this information to Deep. At least he gets an exit in the upper 2860s. Still strong for Twitter. I want to check back in really quickly with SUNY and Twitter, and then I'll look back to see if there's any tickers I missed you guys talking about. So definitely seeing a little bit of toppy action here. The low of this candlestick for SUNY was 1184, down to 1182 on this low, and looking like we're getting lower. 1170 was the ultimate low of the pullback, and definitely seeing a nice pullback here. Hopefully this, if you were short, this 2-cent move over the high of the day didn't shake you out. I believe I suggested a stop loss that was a little bit too tight there. But a nice pullback. Anytime you're that overbought, always be stocking for a pullback. So there's Twitter setting new highs, so I guess it's a good thing he missed my message. Twitter target of 29 looks very attainable today, but again, overbought RSI and a pullback should be coming shortly. So GoPro setting a new low of day. Unfortunate for that one. Let's see where we got. Wow, fell right through support on increased volume. Not a good sign at all, but still setting a higher low as compared to yesterday. So we're watching for $40 support to hold. Here's Sunni coming down to test the 1170 support seen on the initial pullback. So Twitter play is working perfectly, GoPro not so much yet, but still have hope for that. Loco is looking nice, slow and steady, not a ton of volume. Want to see a close over $13. Here's Sunni coming down to 1170. Let me look at AMBA. Lots of resistance to fight, rejected from the 200 period to start the day, rejected from the 100 period after that. Setting higher lows here, forming a consolidated range on decreasing volume. We got a little mini rubber band effect of lower highs, higher lows, decreasing volume. So keep your eye on the resistance of 80.21 and the support of the low of the day, 78.62. PCLN looking bullish, 1252. Let me pull up the daily chart. Also want to look at some little different time frames here to see if we have any other moving average resistance. 1263 resistance on the hourly. On the 15 minute, no resistance. On the 30 minute, no resistance. 5 minute. So looking pretty good here on the daily chart. We've got 1261 as resistance of the middle Bollinger Band. So it's looking like we could make a move to 1260 this morning. We do have an RSI that is approaching overbought. So could see a little pullback. We're watching for the 20 period moving average support to hold of 1243. Here's Sunni coming down to break 1170 and should see a quick drop to potentially 1150-ish. 1142 is a 20 period moving average support, so 1150 is the target on this pullback now. GoPro coming down to $40. A lot of volatility there. They gave a little fake out with that 41.74 high of day. Approaching oversold on the 5 minute chart. Let's see why we found resistance at that level for Twitter. Not seeing it here. Looking at the daily chart for GoPro. As we come down and test the low of the day again of 40.05. Yeah, I'm not seeing any reason that there was such a drastic sell-off off that little spike there. Must just be the shorts weren't done with it. Here's the continued drop for Sunni. Awesome pullback of math. Almost 60 cents here. Watching GoPro for finding support on this dump at around $40, which would still be a higher low. We had the low yesterday of 39. So we had a higher high already set today. Now we just need a higher low and to work on turning that support into some bullish momentum. Awesome exit Jim on Sunni. 1217 was the target on our swing play initiated a few days ago, and that is exactly, well, 2 cents higher than our exact target. I called it 12 even just to be a little conservative, but 1217 was the number we were watching. So far we played Sunni 2 weeks ago on the bounce off of that support, the 200-week moving average. We saw nice gains there, a couple dollars, and now we are playing it off of the resistance, where we took all profits before that level. Nice job on Twitter, Deep. Awesome job, Zen. What kind of a percent gain did you see on those, if you don't mind me asking? GoPro seeing a little bounce here off of 40.05. We'll see if it can translate into some bullish momentum. Nice trading, Mason. Just shows you what volatility can do. People making money on Sunni on the way up and the way down. I love it. Thank you, Zen. If you get a percent number, I don't need to know how much money you made or anything like that. I'm just curious what kind of percent the puts would yield on a 12% or 12-cent drop. So let's look at SPY now after all that crazy action has settled down in the first half hour of trading. SPY was looking good. It is setting a lower high compared to this spike in the morning, so we want to maintain these 20 period and 100 period moving average supports, which it should not have a problem doing. SRPT in a downtrend this morning. Looking at the daily chart to see what we're looking at. GoPro's coming down to test the low of the day, 40.05. Definitely seeing resistance at the 37 mark for SRPT. A pullback. First support is the 10-day moving average of 35.07 and the middle Bollinger Band of 34.88. But we have support down here at 35.77 and 35.59 on the 5-minute chart. Here's a low a day test for GoPro. A break here, and there's going to be some more downside. Watching closely. Here's the test, and there's the break. So the bears are certainly not done with GoPro today. Seeing upside, set your stop loss at break even. When things fall apart, you get triggered out and you don't miss anything. If things go your way, you ride the gains. So perfect execution of John. Thank you for pointing that out, and well played. All right, let's see what we got for Sunni here as things are settling down a bit. Seeing support off 1160 with these two lower wicks. We have the 20 period moving average support of 1145. RSI is cooling off on the 5-minute chart. Watch the MACD for a bearish cross. Sunni could be a nice play off continuation if we see, for bullish continuation, when we see some consolidation done here. Could be off the 1160 level, but could drop down to 1145 or 1150. So Sunni is definitely going to be a viable bull play as we see it bounce here back up to $12. It could be happening right now as I speak. The high of the previous candlestick was 1184. 2 minutes left in this candlestick. Nice lower wick showing buying off 1160. Here's Netflix testing 1130 support. Low a day from yesterday. We see a break there, and we could be coming down to 97.50. Sunni is not following SPY as much. There were times yesterday where it was and times where it was not. Currently, it is not with that volume and break. I don't expect it to follow it much today because of the insane volume we're seeing there. So the volume total of yesterday was 31 million, and we're at 13 million in 35 minutes. So that tells you what kind of volume we're seeing here. So 1160 holding still. That might be the support line and the line in the sand where we see a little turnaround for a bearish or a bullish pop back up to 1190 or $12. I'm going to stay on SUNY after checking in SPY just because there is going to be some more bullish upside to SUNY for a quick flip again. Finding support on the 20 period moving average of 196.58. Want to hold that level, looking pretty good so far. SUNY looking good to hold 1160 right now. Could be seeing a bullish move up in the very near future. Watching volume as we had a very strong decrease here. 630,000. We'll watch this 5-minute volume here. A break of 1179 would break the high of the previous candlestick. So far we've seen 4 candlesticks in a row of lower highs and lower lows. Currently looking like we're going to see a higher low here and potentially a higher high, but we're going to have to wait a little bit longer for this candlestick to play out. GoPro back at $40. Twitter back to approaching its high of the day. Still have a $29 target on that for today. Let's see here with Loco, a nice bounce off the 200 period support this morning. Let me look at the volume compared to yesterday. SUNY is back down in the 1160s, so watch for 1160 support to hold again. Loco, the volume for yesterday was 540,000. Currently at about 10%, so not an increase in volume there. Let's see what other resistance we're looking at for Loco. Resistance at 1287 on the 15-minute chart. Currently above support of 1278 on the 30-minute chart. So that's a tough one with the calls expiring tomorrow. I'm sure there's a lot of time decay eating away at the premium on those. We had Loco as a swing play, and it's tough to confine a swing play into a time frame. We had the DWTI swing play out perfectly in 2 days, which is a lot faster than expected. The SUNY swing play played out in about 5 days, and Loco's taken a little bit longer there. So the problem with options playing swing plays is you do have that time decay and the window of opportunity that it needs to fit into. Whereas Loco common shares for the swing play, you could hold those for 2 weeks and have no problem or not lose anything to time decay. So that's my little tidbit on that. In terms of Loco for today getting above 13, it's entirely possible. At this point, I honestly couldn't say more than a 50-50. It's looking bullish on the day, and a close over 13 will be nice for continuation up to $14, but I could not say exactly when that is going to pan out. So watching SUNY here, keeps testing the 1160 mark. Low of this candlestick is 1164, low of the previous one 1156. It appears that 1172 has been a bit of resistance. Keep getting up there and keep knocking back down. So let's see if we can get up to 1175 now and see a little bit of bullish momentum. See, there's another knockdown right there. Tesla's pulling back $5 from the high. Yeah, that could be the case with SUNY, but definitely momentum and volume is favoring the bulls this morning. So with this nice consolidation, RSI cooling off, we should see another pop to $12 before 11 a.m. I don't want to put myself in a time box there, but that's just, an estimation. So still lower highs. We want to see that pattern break past 5 candlesticks in a row, lower highs. Gonna sit on SUNY here and watch. We got SPY coming up, potentially to another high a day test. Nice bounce off the 20 period moving average support. There's that bounce off the green line and heading back up towards the high of the day. Back to Sunni. Okay, so we broke 1172 with some conviction here. The volume is just under the previous candlestick, but still not setting a higher high. We had a high back here of 1179, a high just now of 1177, and a high just now of 1177. So still have not set a higher high. Is looking like 1160 is nice support here though. We'll see when the bulls show back up. We will see if this MACD gets a bearish cross, and we will see when we see a spike in volume here. 570,000 is the mark on the last candle. Twitter back up to approach its high of day. GoPro trying to find support. RSI is down at 31. Definitely should see a bounce on Twitter this morning. 39.85 was a double bottom low so far. Looking like we might come down and test it again one more time. Here's Sunni creeping back up again. Want to see that volume explosion. So 1177, we see a break of that, and it's a new high on the candlestick, and it breaks the decreasing pattern. So there it is right there. If we just see one click, there it is. So watching now for potentially a move back to $12. Want to see a little bit more volume show up, but with 4 minutes left to go on this candlestick, it's looking like it's showing up right now. 570,000 compared to 200,000 so far, with 4 minutes left to go in the candlestick. Here we're back in 1180s now. Alright, there's the volume showing up and a nice pop. You can see the break in the pattern was the signal here that some bulls were waiting for. Want to see this 5-minute candlestick close above 1180. So 570,000, and with 3 minutes left to go, 335,000. So more than half. Want to see 1180 hold here. Twitter close to its high of day. GoPro back to test its low of day, which is held twice now. Here's the third test. And it broke. So we got a new low for GoPro. Low 39s was the low of day yesterday. Here's Sunni continuing on, looking pretty good here. Going to see a nice volume increase. So if you're playing Sunni bullish here, have your stop loss in, just because this wasn't a quick pop like we were hoping to see. Still could see some legs behind it, but let's see if we break 1183 here. It'll be a great sign. Alright, so looking good. 2 minutes left to go. We're going to see a nice increase in volume. Resistance will be $12 psychological, although there was a bunch of activity around 1190 as well. So if you wanted to be conservative with any profits, 1190 might be the place to take them. And if I was going to take my profits at 1190, I'd take them at 1189, because 1190 is a nice round number that other people are probably taking their profits on. Sunni support. It's hard to give advice on stop losses because I have no idea how much you've invested. I have no idea what your risk tolerance is. 1160 is must-hold support for Sunni. But you can make it 1170, you can make it 1175 if you want to be conservative. It all depends on your style and risk tolerance. Right now we don't have much clear support besides 1160. And we want to close this candlestick above 1180, which we're struggling to do right now. One minute left in this candlestick. Not a convincing increase in volume. Yeah, Deep. Jason was pointing out the resistance being seen here at Twitter's high of day. It's slowing down and could potentially reverse from here for some more consolidation. Alright, so now we want to see for Sunni here, if you are bullish, you want to see a higher low and a higher high. The high was 1185 and the low was 1172. So if you wanted to be ultra conservative, you could set your stop loss at 1170. I don't mean ultra conservative, I just mean plain old conservative. SPY heading back towards its high of day, just about to test it. Sunni back over 1180, a nice sign. 1185 break would be very bullish. Up to 1184. 1185. Let's see that break. Looking good. There it is. So that's a higher high. Looking good for nice continuation, potentially to $12. Not the fast bounce we were looking for, but nothing wrong with slow and steady. Higher lows and higher highs. So close of this candlestick below 80, 1180, and I would be feeling like 1160 support is going to be tested again. We got 3 minutes left in this candlestick. So volume significantly dried up, not seeing the quick bounce we were looking for. Did see a little bounce, but it's looking like that might be evaporating here. Nice job, Soren. That's a good tight stop loss. And there's a quick drop from 1185 down to 1170 in a couple minutes. So definitely not seeing the strength we wanted to see on the bounce there. Saw a little bit of action, but now expect it to be the rubber band effect of decreasing volume, lower highs, and potentially higher lows. 1158 is, or 1156. Excuse me, 1156 is the level to watch for the low to maintain. Let's check back in on Netflix. I see it broke the low of the day yesterday of 130. Now seeing some bounce. I have my line there at 101.90, which may be resistance, and that's going to line up with the 20 period moving average resistance of 102.16. So Twitter did set a new high, continuing to chug along. 29 is the target, and there's going to be some resistance in the 29s. RSI is overbought at 78. So it could potentially be a nice quick short here as well. RSI is over 70 on the 60-minute chart, the 30-minute chart, the 15-minute chart, and the 5-minute chart. So pretty overbought on all fronts. Watch for 29 resistance for a potential quick short there. Again, whenever you're playing against momentum, you want to be very tight with your stop losses. So looking at Loco now, I do not expect it to break $13 today unless volume shows up out of nowhere. Watching Twitter for weakness on the 5-minute chart. Coming up to 29 here. RSI now at 79. Potential short opportunity for Twitter approaching. Pretty big ask at 28.97. We'll see how the market reacts to that. SPY set a nice new high of day, looking really good for the markets. GoPro trying to recover some of those losses, up 50 cents from the high or the low of the day. I'll look at AMBA here in a second. I just want to be on top of this Twitter reversal. So there's another test of the high of day. Let's see if we break it up to 29. So there's a new high and should see 29 resistance. We'll see how strong it is. Looking like oil is continuing its bounce. Apologies to Vig for convincing you to sell your position yesterday, but that was a smart, safe play to lock in your profit. It was a 50-50 today whether oil would go up or down. Obviously it's going up, but at the end of the day, when a commodity like oil that trades when the market's closed, it kind of has your hands handcuffed and it can be scary. So I would always advise taking profit on a commodity that trades extended after hours when you are unable to react with your position. So Twitter's struggling to break 28.99 here. Let's see if we can see 29 even. RSI is at 79.42. Sunni is coming back down to test this 1160 area again. PCLN support is 1247. Looking at AMBA here. AMBA hit a low of the day at 77.80, which is a higher low than yesterday. So that is the support right now, 77.80, and resistance is 20-period moving average of 79.64, 79.89, and 79.99. So upper 79s heading into 80 is resistance for AMBA. Twitter seeing a little bit of pullback. 1 cent short of our target for today of $29. That's where resistance is on the daily chart from previous price history. If you look at the daily chart, you can see how many times Twitter traded around the $29 range a couple weeks ago. Sweet flip, Motai, well done. So here's Twitter pulling back a little bit. We've got support at the 8-period exponential moving average is 28.74, so a little bit of downside there. 16 cents from where we're currently trading. Sunni was able to maintain 1160 for now. Let's see if GoPro is going to find support for a higher low. Nice bounce off the low, but need to get back over $41 to turn these major moving average resistances into support. Jim, if you're talking about learning how to do options, I number one suggest watching my quick intro video, Options for Dummies. That's as basic as it can get. I then suggest continuing your education with other sources and most importantly, practicing on paper. Take it from me, I personally lost thousands of dollars trying to play with real money as I was learning, and I learned that lesson, and I want to prevent you from making the same mistake. So Twitter support now 2875, coming up on that level closely. Here's Sunni showing a little bit of strength here back into the 1180s. Watch for a break of the high we saw in the previous bounce. I believe it was 1185. SPY still trading right at its high of day, looking great. Netflix did see some nice recovery. Some really nice recovery. That's a really hard one to chart these past days with these volatile swings. Resistance is 103.47. Good Isaac. Sunni is looking pretty good here. Not seeing the volume we'd want to see to really believe in the strength of this move, but could see a move up to $12. Maybe here's the volume now. Actually, we got 4 minutes left to go in this candlestick. Previous 510,000 and currently at 350,000. So going to see a nice increase in volume this candlestick. Here's SPY setting a new high. Sunni up to 1189. Let's see how Baba's reacting to that 86 level. Or 66, excuse me. Got above it, now right at that level, trying to maintain it. 20 period moving average support of 65.95, 100 period moving average support of 65.78. Nice bounce this morning from the low all the way down to 65.41. Here's Sunni heading up to $12, looking pretty good. Going to see a volume increase on the 5-minute chart. That's a good sign. Nothing wrong with getting stopped out of Sunni and missing this little bounce here, as it was slow developing and not a lot of volume there. Another new high for SPY, looking great. Let me look at the daily chart for SPY. High close on the bounce for SPY was 199.28. It would take a lot of bullish momentum to get there today, but still a nice sign. This is the second gap up in a row, though. We don't want to see a gap up tomorrow if we're bullish, because that will be a bearish 3 gap up reversal pattern. Watching the MACD on the daily chart and the RSI for RSI a bullish 50 cross and the MACD a bullish cross on the daily chart for SPY. We're going to be watching that, but again, we don't want to gap up tomorrow. Alright, I'm getting close to signing off here after an hour and 15 minutes on the webcam this morning. I'll stay on for another 5 or so minutes, and we'll check back in as always towards the end of the day. One more plug to check out our Facebook page, like it, and leave any positive reviews. Well, actually leave any reviews. We are transparent here, so go ahead and say whatever you want. We would appreciate it. And again, check your emails for those surveys so we can get information to better serve you. I think at this point it goes without saying, we're not going to use your information for anything besides our own knowledge to benefit you on the features we add to the website as we progress. Twitter's seeing some consolidation. Didn't see the quick drop looking for on a short. Definitely saw the 29 resistance that was anticipated, but still maintaining fairly strong here. If we see a break of 28.81, it will signal some more downside. So 5 more minutes here before I sign off. Feel free to ask for any more tickers. Supports on Twitter. We got the 8-period exponential moving average, which held on these two lower wicks that the bulls bought up. That level is 28.78. So break below 28.78 and we could come down and test 28.50. Close to testing the 28.78 level right now. $28.81 is currently support that is falling. Obviously, you're going to be watching SPY in conjunction with it, just because if we see a break a high day and strong move on SPY, we might see Twitter benefit from that as well. Tesla found support perfectly off the 200-period moving average support, currently 247.47. We've got the 20-period moving average resistance being tested right now of 250.28. So that's going to be very telling which direction this breaks in. Let me pull up the daily chart. Daily chart 100-day moving average support is 248.48. And resistance is the high of the bounce, which is 254.95. Let's call that 255. Let's see what other kind of moving averages resistance we have here. Support at 248.42 on the hourly chart. 245.76 on the 30-minute chart. 245, upper 245s is strong support on multiple time frames. I'm expecting the price to bounce off this resistance and come down, potentially setting a higher low compared to the low of the day, and then making its way back up to try and break the 20-period moving average resistance. So Loco not looking bad, but just not a lot of volatility and movement, not a lot of volume, holding its ground nicely. Let me pull up the daily chart of Loco. So still 3 higher lows in a row now for Loco if we hold this. 10-day moving average support is 1251, and a close over 13 is a bullish signal. So definitely seeing things calming down this morning after a wild first 30 minutes on a bunch of tickers we were watching. Looking for consolidation, lower highs, higher lows. Here's Twitter dropping down potentially to 28.50 target. Thank you, Siku, for pointing that out. Nice job, Soren, on AA. Sunni is absolutely consolidating. Twitter, nice follow through on this bearish move that was pointed out. Consolidation for Sunni. We have a low here of 1156 and a high of 1193. Support of 1163 on the 20 period moving average. And definitely decreasing volume, consolidating range. We'll see which direction that breaks out of. Amazon. Nice break over the 20 period moving average resistance. Working on the high of the day now. 515.84. Looking at the daily chart for Amazon. Twitter breaking 2870. Amazon resistance is 513.77, the middle Bollinger Band. Very key level to close above today. The high close on the bounce has been 518.37. Close over that will be very bullish and signaling that 530 is coming. MACD on the daily chart is really close to a bullish cross. RSI crossed 50 bullish. On the bounce from the oversold markets, we had 3 days in a row of the middle Bollinger Band resistance on the daily chart, knocking the price back down. So a close above 513.77 is bullish Amazon, and might even have us putting it on the watch list for tomorrow if that is the case. Twitter continuing to drop towards the 2850 target. Let's see what's going on with SPY. Nice bullish uptrend, higher lows, higher highs. Period moving average support now for Twitter is 28.49, so aligning with this low of 28.50 back here. But by the time it reaches it, it might be a little bit higher, so we might have to adjust our target up a wee bit. Perhaps 28.55. American Airlines is back green. Not much to see there. Oil hitting $48 resistance. I'm going to watch Twitter here to see if we're going to hit our target on this pullback, and then I will sign off. Sunni back in the 1180s. Watch for a break of 1193, and watch volume on the 5-minute chart. Two minutes left to go in this candlestick. Might see an increase in volume here. Definitely a bullish uptrend on this pullback though. Higher lows and higher highs. So Twitter just saw a nice bounce out of nowhere. Didn't get quite to our target. Lower wick shows the bulls bought the dip. We'll see where this candlestick closes in the next 1 minute. Let's see if SPY had anything to do with that. Green candlestick, possibly. Alright, well, I'm going to sign off here. I appreciate you guys tuning in. One last plug for our survey in your email and our Facebook page for reviews or likes. And we are going to keep watching Twitter, GoPro, SPY, Sunni, and all the good ones. Look at this resistance here for Sunni. If we see a break of 1188, it will be a very bullish sign because that is a big old ask in the way. Stay on for another 30 seconds just to see how this reacts. And then I will keep this webcam up as I unplug the mic and go eat something. Looking at the weekly chart for AA for longer term. So this ask is getting eaten away now, and we have a nice bid building. This could be a really strong sign of strength if we see it fall shortly. There it goes, chipping away. So for AA on the weekly chart, we are confirming the bullish reversal on, not increased volume. We are confirming the bullish reversal here for AA. We have the 10-week moving average resistance of 984. A close above 984 would be a good sign, but long term, you want to see a close over $10. The sooner the better. We had 3 weeks in late July, early August, where the price was knocked down from $10 and unable to close above it. So that is definitely resistance, $10 psychological level. But if we get a close over $10, the 200-week moving average resistance is 1085. So with a close over $10, the target is 1085. Took my eye off Sunni. It's looking like that ask was unable to be broken. I forget exactly what level it was at, maybe 1188. And all right, any last questions? Jan, I hope that answered your question for AA. Let me look at the daily chart as well, just to combine it with the weekly. Need a close over $10. I'm going to see a pullback before that, though, with the move we've seen off of $8 here. Seen a nice strong bounce, but the bulls are going to be tiring when we hit the 10-week moving average resistance of 984 and the 50-day moving average resistance of 992 combined with the $10 psychological resistance. I could see AA having a bit of trouble in the upper $9 range currently without seeing some more consolidation before breaking it. But we can keep our eye on it, and by all means keep asking about it, as I might forget to keep it on watch. Let's see what the 5-minute looks like for today. Still continuing strong. Going to have to see a cool off again. Can't break $10 or any of those resistances I just pointed out with an RSI this maxed out and after this strong move. No need to apologize, Ray. Resistance is 252.01. Let's call it 252 even. Support is the 20-period moving average of 250.07. So let's just call it 250 and 252 are support and resistance levels. We had a high here on the initial bounce this morning of 251.64 and unable to break that on this candlestick yet. So that's currently a lower high until we break 251.64. Netflix resistance is the 200 and 100 period moving average of 104.32 and 104.43. Price knocked back from there, a bearish reversal candlestick, currently not being confirmed. 1 minute left to go, so still seeing some strength there. That's going to be some tough resistance, but after getting beaten down so badly the past 3 days, Netflix definitely has some momentum in its favor to the bull side. Yesterday was very ugly, bounced off the low of 1030 and recovered all the way to 105 today. Got down to 111. Didn't see the psychological 100 support break, and now we're making a move back up to try to get back over 105. But those two resistant hurdles are in the way. Here comes Sunni back up to 1188. Seeing some nice strength there still. Just the fact that it's able to maintain up here after such a strong move, and consolidation, slow and steady uptrend. Here's Sunni trying to make its way to 1190 now. The high on this bounce is 1193. And alright, I'm signing off. Thanks again for tuning in, and here's to a profitable rest of your day.